Tonight on Connecticut's news station, new details in the deadly shooting of a man in Hartford. We'll have the latest on the investigation and a look at how the capital city is trying to reduce gun violence.
I think I got him down. I think he's down.
Also tonight, new body camera video released in the deadly mass shooting at a bank in Louisville, Kentucky. We're looking into how officers killed the suspected gunman. And a police officer in one Connecticut city reassigned after trying to get his fellow officers to gamble in what was called a dead pool.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
But we start things off with new details here at 10 o'clock after a man was shot and killed in Hartford's North End earlier today. Good evening. I'm Ben Goldman. Thanks for joining us here at 10 tonight. Today's violence is renewing concerns about safety in the capital city. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joining us live outside Hartford Police Department tonight with what we're learning. Gabby.
Ben, police say that the victim was a 29-year-old man who was shot right in front of a bodega in the city's North End earlier today. A deadly shooting in broad daylight in a Hartford neighborhood.
Daylight is getting more brazen now. Before it used to be drive-by, maybe, in the nighttime and things like this. Now it can happen at any time and anywhere.
Gunshots ringing out just after noon on Capon Street Tuesday, while neighbors sat outside.
A lot of those people that lived in that area where that shooting happened to be out on their porch.
Police say when they arrived, they found 29-year-old Michael Starks had been shot. He was unresponsive and rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
He was a good kid. I see him every day. I know him. I joke with him and everything.
Mark Brown is one of the people who came outside to find a crime scene, and in his case, learned the victim was someone he knew.
I never see them fighting. They all get along well. Yeah, but that's real hurting to see that, this had to happen.
Hurt that impacts the community all too often. This marking the 5th homicide in the city this year.
We call it the yellow tape syndrome. Our kids seeing people lying in the street, bodies in the street. They seen blood in the streets. It's nothing new.
Reverend Henry Brown is a community leader with the organization Mothers United Against Violence. He says the warmer weather seems to signal an uptick in violence.
We see this all the time. It's not surprising. Warm weather, kids out of school, beautiful. Then all of a sudden, gunshots. Typical.
Over the last 4 years, Hartford crime statistics show a slightly larger increase in homicides during the 6 warmer months of the year than the 6 colder months. From the beginning of April to the end of September, there was an average of 16 homicides, compared to the time frame of October to March, which saw an average of 13.
Everybody don't need guns, particularly people that don't have license. You're running rampant in the streets, you're killing people.
Hartford police are encouraging anyone with information about this homicide to give them a call. They do have an anonymous tip line. We have the details on our website, fox61.com. Live in Hartford, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Gabby, thank you. We're also following breaking news here at 10 o'clock tonight after body camera video was released in yesterday's deadly mass shooting in Louisville, Kentucky. 5 people were killed in that attack at Old National Bank. 8 other people were injured, including a rookie police officer who was shot in the head. Fox 61's Brett Harden joining us in the breaking news center now after going through that video earlier this evening. Brent?
Ben, Louisville Metro Police releasing surveillance video from cameras inside the bank, cell phone video taken by a bystander across the street, and police body cam video. The images provide a detailed timeline of what happened Monday from the moment when officers were dispatched to when they opened fire and killed the suspect. Surveillance images inside the bank show the suspect armed with a rifle going through the bank, glass shattered on the floor around his feet. The bystander across the street recorded video as police arrived on scene around 8:38 in the morning. You can see an officer retreat and duck for cover as the gunman opens fire. The next video shows a first-person view of one of the officers who approached the bank as gunshots were going off. That officer, Nicholas Wilt, a rookie officer who was sworn in less than 2 weeks ago, was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the head. He underwent brain surgery and is said to be in critical condition at this hour. At 8:44 a.m., 6 minutes after officers arrived on scene, the suspect began firing again at police, and that's when officers returned fire.
God, don't have an angle.
You can hear an officer alert the others that the suspect is down inside the bank, and they cautiously approach the building 7 minutes after arriving on scene. It's later determined the gunman was in fact killed by police.
We have learned that the suspect in this incident was a current employee with Old National Bank. We have also learned that he purchased the weapon used in this tragic incident on yesterday, on April the 4th. He purchased the weapon legally from one of the local dealerships here in Louisville.
We're all feeling shaken by this, and scared, and angry, and a lot of other things too. It's important that we come together as a community to process this tragedy in particular, but not just this tragedy. Because the reality is that we have already lost 40 people to gun violence in Louisville this year.
Yeah, again, 5 people died in the mass shooting Monday. Several others are continuing to recover. And during today's press conference, police commended the officers for their quick action in the moments after taking down the suspect, saying they ultimately helped save more lives. For more of this video and more information on this breaking news, head to fox61.com and the Fox 61 app. In the Breaking News Center, Brent Harden, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station. Ben, back to you.
Brent, thank you. Let's move along here, get to the weather watch tonight. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now after a major warm-up here in Connecticut. Hi, Rachel.
Yeah, temperatures climbed into the 70s today and will be very similar tomorrow. But later this week, Thursday and Friday, boy, unseasonable warmth times 10. Records will be challenged. Highs will soar into the 80s, and we're going to get a legit taste of summer. But for now, we also have to deal with the fire weather risk. We were talking about this a lot the last couple of days and even last week. But once again, there's a red flag warning in effect during the day tomorrow. Any brush fires that end up igniting could spread a lot easier because of the dry brush that's out there until things start to grow in again, gusty winds, and also very low relative humidity. The wind is coming down out there tonight. We only have one gust being reported up around the New Haven area, but I do think it's still breezy tomorrow. It is mild though. Temperatures are still in the 60s to right around 70 degrees. And part of the reason it's staying so mild tonight is because we have a lot of clouds out there, and that can help to insulate temperatures. Temperatures tonight dropping back only into the 50s, and then we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Any early clouds break for sunshine. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 70s inland and at the Connecticut shoreline. And again, we are just getting started. Much warmer than this for Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about what records we could shatter coming up.
See you in a bit, Rachel. Thank you. In other news tonight, a Waterbury man accused of assaulting his father, who eventually died. The incident happened at a home on Platt Street yesterday afternoon. Waterbury police say that Luis Martinez assaulted his father, Wilfredo Martinez. Wilfredo was found dead in that home. Police say that Luis left, but was found shortly afterwards and was arrested. The victim's granddaughter describes what she saw.
He went down the street. He did a U-turn. He put the car right here in the middle, and then from there, he had a stick, and from the stick, he beat him to death.
Luis Martinez is now facing several charges, including assault. We do have an update to breaking news we first brought you last night here on the news at 10. A pilot and his student are lucky to be alive after crashing their plane in a small Danbury neighborhood. Danbury Municipal Airport leaders say that they were practicing touch-and-go landings when something went wrong and the plane was forced out of the sky. That plane just barely missed several homes. Neighbors described last night's chaotic scene.
In my opinion, it looks like the hand of God literally picked them up and just put it down safely. And for them to get out of the plane almost by themselves and have just minor cuts after you see what could have been and what could have hit, and the power lines across the street, and all the obstacles in and of its path, it's incredible.
The FAA is continuing to investigate what caused the crash. We'll do at 10 tonight, a Hartford police detective getting a new position within the department after creating a gambling pool with others in the Major Crimes Division. That so-called dead pool asked for officers to bet on where the capital city's first homicide of the year would be. That detective was originally demoted back in December of 2020. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joining us in the studio tonight with how the city and people in the community are reacting to this new reappointment. Jake.
Yeah, Ben, and it's happened 2 years later, more than 2 years later. And it's been 2 years since Jeffrey Plasek was demoted within the Hartford Police Department. He now has a new position back in the rank as detective.
I think that there's enough there that concerned me where I wanted to temporarily remove him.
That was the Hartford Chief of Police back in December of 2020, just days after Hartford Police Detective Jeffrey Plasek sent a text message to others in the department inviting them to take part in what is being referred to as a dead pool by paying $20 to wager on when and where the city's first homicide of 2021 would occur. This controversy spurred protests in the city and this reaction from Mayor Luke Bronin at the time.
When I heard about and then read this text message, I was disgusted and I was outraged.
Following the incident, Plasek was demoted and suspended without pay for 4 months. The department said he could return only after a fitness for duty evaluation and participate in a community-based restorative justice program. Now he's been reinstated to the position of detective and has a new role with the police department. Today, Mayor Bronin released the following statement saying, quote, Detective Plasek's mistake 2 years ago caused real pain to the Hartford community, and he was rightly demoted, suspended, and removed from the Major Crimes Division. Discipline which he accepted without appeal or challenge and with remorse. He had the right to compete for a detective position, and he's been assigned to an administrative role in the Backgrounds Division. Some in the community feel the move is a continued violation of public trust, even if Plasek is no longer investigating crimes, saying the training he received wasn't enough.
To say that the culture has changed that much, it really hasn't. I'm really hoping that one day these promises materialize, but kind of like a cheating spouse, they never really change.
And now Plasek's current position is focused on completing background checks for new hires and other administrative duties rather than investigations. We reached out to the Hartford Police Department for further comment, but did not hear back. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.